Stefan A. Cavallo, and I'm a parishioner here since 1950. I'm 5 months short of being 100, and I'm from the Bronx.
So you are a born and bred New Yorker for life.
That's it. I was in the Air Force, yes, and during the war years, and but because I had gone to NYU where I got an engineering degree, I was assigned to the Air Force, and from the Air Force I was assigned to Langley Field, Virginia, where I spent 6 years as a NASA test pilot. And at the end of the 6 years of NASA flying for NASA, I came back to New York and in the furniture business. This was NASA when they still flew airplanes. Today it's a whole different organization. It's obviously space-oriented. Well, they changed it from, it was called the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics, NACA, and they changed it to NASA, which is the National Air and Space Administration, when we went into space. That was about 1950, though. That was after the war. Flying for NASA is bound to be exciting. Spectacular would be a bailout of a burning P-51 during the war. That was during a test flight. They gave free flying lessons to anybody. We're talking about 1941, when I was at school at NYU. And they came around and said, anybody wants to learn how to fly? You know, that's you got to be careful with those. Then after I came back from NASA, back from Langley Field, then I just flew as a civilian. I mean, I bought an airplane and I flew an airplane up till just a few years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I guess I quit. But, and only because it became too expensive. I was coming back from visiting a friend in Maryland. The engine quit. So I had an emergency landing that got publicized, was in the papers, and fortunately I was able to land the plane on the beach. The emergency landing, I think I was 90, but of course I had all those years of experience, didn't I? I mean, I obviously, something of the training, I guess, in the background was able to put it all together and put the plane down without killing myself or anybody else. The FAA, who investigated the crash, said that was an awesome landing. When you get the FAA to say anything nice about My father was an Italian immigrant and my mother was French. My parents were in the manufacturing business before the war. So after the war, it was actually all I did was take over a business that they had started and they retired from. Now my son took their business over. So there's a continuity actually since 1905 or something. The business was started by my parents, and it's still running today.
Now, through your furniture business, there are some things in this church that we can attribute to.
Yes.
Starting with some of the furniture in this room.
We made that table. We made these two tables, these end tables, you call them. And the coffee table in the middle of the room, I imported actually. Was made in France. See this? It's called the Montgolfier. Montgolfier was the first balloonist, a balloonist that took a balloon up over Paris. Right? And this.
Oh yeah, because it looks like an air balloon, a hot air balloon.
It's made in the shape of a balloon.
I never noticed that.
That's called the Montgolfier. They were the Montgolfier brothers, right? There's a whole history on this kind of stuff, sure. I think our tour de force was the cross at the altar downstairs where we re-gilded it. It was painted like the skin color was,
It was a realistic.
Realistic cross. Well, you know, when to gold leaf, real 24 karat gold, very difficult to work with. I don't even know if we have people left that would know how to do it, workmen. So that figure is a work of art, of gilding, besides being a work of art of carving. It's a beautiful figure. Whoever it must have been done around 1880 or something like that. I'm surprised to hear young people asking for advice. There seems to be a diminution in what I call good taste, but then my taste is based on my generation. I think the greatest thing in the world was to meet a good-looking girl, and if you knew how to touch dance, 10 seconds later have her in your arms. You can't live as a pessimist. You gotta think positive, right? Think positive. The next world is the one that's important. Church is the only connection we have with the hereafter, and you're only around one-on-one like we are for a few years, and the rest of the time, which is going to be a long time, you better get ready for whatever that's going to be. So whatever the hereafter is, prepare for it. So the church seems to be the only way to go, as far as I'm concerned. You've got to believe, God has left you a religion and has certainly left you a way forward. It's not forward as a human being. It'll be forward in the hereafter. And you know how to get into the hereafter. I mean, you may get there without you choosing to get there, but you will be in the hereafter whether you like it or not. So act like you're going to live forever, but pray like you're going to die tomorrow.